History remembers Genghis Khan as the conqueror who built an empire. But hidden in the shadows of his descendants was a princess unlike any other, Khutulun. She was undefeated in wrestling, a warrior on horseback, and a commander who terrified her enemies. While most princesses were pawns in dynastic marriages, Khutulun flipped the rules. If you wanted her hand, you had to beat her in a wrestling match. No man ever could. This is the story of the Mongol princess who turned strength into power and collected 10,000 horses along the way. Khutulun was born around 1260 into one of the most powerful but unstable families in the world. Her father, Genghis Khan, ruled Central Asia and spent much of his life at war with his cousin Kublai Khan, the mighty ruler of China and grandson of Genghis Khan. Mongol society was unusual for its time. Women could ride, fight, and even advise in politics. Khutulun, the youngest of 14 children, took full advantage of this freedom. From childhood, she trained in archery, horsemanship, and combat, and quickly became her father's favorite. But her true gift was wrestling. To understand Khutulun's legend, you need to understand Mongol wrestling, or buk. It wasn't just sport. Wrestling was considered the purest test of strength, courage, and honor. Every festival and gathering featured wrestling matches. Champions gained immense respect, and victories were celebrated like military triumphs. Wrestlers wore a distinctive outfit, tight shorts and an open-chested jacket, originally designed to ensure no woman could secretly enter competitions. That alone makes Khutulun's dominance all the more extraordinary, because she didn't just wrestle, she redefined what it meant to be a champion. Khutulun declared that any man who wanted to marry her must defeat her in wrestling. The stakes were high. If he lost, he owed her 100 horses. The challenge spread across the steppe. Warriors, nobles, even princes tried their luck. None succeeded. Over time, Khutulun amassed an astonishing herd of 10,000 horses. Horses were the lifeblood of the Mongols, transportation, wealth, and status. To lose one was humiliation. To lose 100 was ruin. And yet, men kept trying, driven by pride, by love, or perhaps by the belief that surely one day someone could bring her down. No one did. Khutulun's power wasn't confined to the wrestling arena. She fought alongside her father in countless battles against Kublai Khan's forces. Chroniclers described her as a hawk diving into a flock of birds, riding into enemy lines, seizing captives, and returning unscathed. Her father trusted her more than any of her brothers. At one point, Kaido even wished to name Khutulun as his heir. But Mongol nobles rejected the idea of a woman ruling alone, despite her unmatched skills. Politics, not ability, denied her the throne. Khutulun's fame was so great that outsiders could hardly believe it. Marco Polo, the Venetian traveler, claimed he saw her in person, astonished by her strength and independence. But with fame came rumors. Enemies accused her of being unnaturally close to her father. Others whispered that she used sorcery to win her matches. These stories were likely slander, spread to weaken her reputation. Yet the truth remained. Khutulun was simply stronger, braver, and smarter than the men who challenged her. Her story lived on in surprising ways. Centuries later, legends of a powerful princess who defeated suitors inspired the tale of Turandot, a cruel and beautiful princess who set impossible challenges for her lovers. That story became a Persian legend, an Italian play, and eventually Puccini's famous opera. But unlike the fictional Turandot, Khutulun wasn't a cold figure of myth. She was a flesh and blood warrior, undefeated in combat and loyal to her people. Khutulun's life proves that history's most powerful figures aren't always kings or conquerors. Sometimes, they're the ones who refuse to bow, who turn tradition upside down, and who leave a legend that endures for centuries. She was undefeated. She was unshakable. She was Khutulun, the Mongol princess who wrestled men for their horses. If you enjoyed this story, don't miss the next episode, The Rise of Shaka Zulu, the warrior king who reshaped African warfare. Subscribe to join the journey.